Good morning, guys, and welcome to Mersey Coverage podcast number 2. And today it is my pleasure to welcome you to the second and final podcast of the year. We'll be talking about the Liverpool and Everton postponement in the weekend. I would also be talking a little bit about the sport across Merseyside. Obviously, welcome Kian, Taylor, Luke, Lewis, and Lucy. We'll start off the action with you, Kian. Obviously, Liverpool-Everton game was postponed on the weekend due to Storm Dara hitting many parts of Merseyside. What was your take on the game being postponed?
It's a shame that it was postponed, obviously, but I think seeing the weather, it had to be done. There would have been too much chaos in the game. It probably would have been a bit of a safety issue. I think it's only fair that it was postponed, even though it probably would have benefited Everton for it to be in that sort of condition.
Yeah, talking about that chaos, Taylor, would it have benefited Everton a lot more with them sort of using those aerial battles to their advantage with obviously the conditions at play?
Yeah, I think it would have. I mean, based off the 4-0 game that they had midweek, they got a good few goals off set pieces. So I do think the win would have played a good factor for them, and I think they will be gutted that the game is postponed. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Lucy? Obviously, Everton hot on their heels, hot confidence, as Taylor alluded to, there winning in the week against Wolves. Do you think that confidence would have played an impact in how the game would have panned out?
Definitely. I'm really upset that it was postponed because I think it would have been such a good game with all the goals that Liverpool got midweek and Everton. I think it would have been really great. They would have been bouncing off their 4-0 win. So, yeah.
Yeah, and what about you, Luke? I know you covered the story a bit more in detail. Could you tell us about the storm and what impact it had on sport across Merseyside?
Yeah, 100%. So straight away at 10 a.m. The morning of the game, Merseyside police did put out a statement saying to sort of stop all unnecessary travel, which is why Everton sort of forced their hand. Really, they had to postpone the game just for public safety, really, because I believe someone actually died due to the storm. So. It wouldn't really be right to go ahead with the match. But yeah, I think it really could have been a good chance for Everton to nick something there. You know, I think we spoke about in the past how they're going to sort of always treat this as a cup final. And when it's a bit slippy, wins sort of pinging the ball around, I think that's the best chance, really.
Yeah, exactly. And Lewis, am I mistaken in saying you were going to be at the game?
Yeah,
Yeah, obviously.
It would have been nice. But...
Yeah. That'll be rescheduled, obviously, but at the same time, what was your thoughts after the postponement? Did you think that I've seen quite a few people said that Everton would have probably done better with the conditions? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think overall, I think Everton would have been better in those sort of circumstances. But people say form goes out the window when it comes to these big derbies. But overall, I think with Everton winning and obviously Liverpool dropping points midweek, I feel like Everton would have had a lot more confidence going into it, and not just including the weather. I feel like it shaped up nicely to be a really good Merseyside derby, but obviously wasn't to be. But I think the question now is, when will it go ahead? Because the fixtures are so congested. I think I did see that there was a window in February time, but as I say, we just have to wait to see what date it will get confirmed to be rescheduled.
Yeah, 100%. And obviously at February, we'll go to Lucy here. Obviously in February, we'll have a bit of a clearer picture on how the title race looks. Obviously having a Merseyside derby in February, does that sort of heighten this game if it's closer to the end of the season, given where Liverpool want to finish at the end of the season?
Oh, definitely. Liverpool and Everton, they're fighting relegation, whereas Liverpool are going for the Premier League win. I definitely think we'll have a clearer picture. At the moment, it does look like Liverpool are going to win, but anything can happen between now and February. So, yeah, I think a derby in February would be great.
Yeah, and Kian, obviously Liverpool are 4 points clear at the top of the table. Chelsea reduced that gap, obviously, Liverpool having that game in hand. How do you see the title picture looking, obviously, because Liverpool drew 3-3 in the week against Newcastle, kind of dropped 2 points there. We'll touch a little bit upon that now. But, football, it can change so quickly. So what's your take on the title picture?
Yeah, I think obviously anything can happen, but I think Arsenal have shown their weaknesses this season, and so have City. I don't think Chelsea are quite there yet, so I think Liverpool probably are the favourites right now. But obviously that's avoiding any sort of big injuries or anything like that. But if they carry on the way they're going, then they should be right there at the top at the end of the season.
Yeah, any bumps in the road now would you'd have to say would be quite significant. And obviously having that game in the week against Newcastle, where Liverpool did come short against Newcastle late on due to a Fabian Schär goal. What was your take on Kelleher, Luke? Because he's been receiving a bit of criticism, but he's also been applauded quite a lot over the last few months. So what's your take? Is that criticism fair or exaggerated?
I mean, I think you've got to assume it is exaggerated. If you look at the Real Madrid match just 2 weeks before, so, you know, they were hailing him as sort of the next Alisson. Obviously, he's been at the club a few years now, and they have brought in a secondary goalkeeper. So it's going to be interesting to see where his future does lie. But yeah, I think that when you look at how Liverpool have been playing without Alisson, the biggest sort of compliment you can give to Kelleher is, you know, people aren't sort of going, where is Alisson? You know, there is that sort of comparison of the two now. Obviously, we're not saying he's at the same level, especially when you look at his distribution. But as a junior goalkeeper, I think he's got to be put up there as one of the best in the business. And I think that goal that he conceded late on just shows his inexperience potentially. But he'll only sort of grow in time with that.
I think you know, when you're talking about goalkeepers making mistakes, I think like what you've got to realise is goalkeepers are quite erratic. Like if you think back to Alisson at the Emirates, where him and Van Dijk had a bit of a mix-up, I feel like what you got to understand now, especially with keepers like playing at the back and the ball is so much in the keeper's box now. It's like goalkeepers are going to be erratic and they're not immune to mistakes. But obviously we hone in on it more because it always leads to a goal, you know, whenever a goalkeeper makes a mistake. But I feel like now, I think I saw that Kelleher's made more appearances for Liverpool than Alisson in 2024. So he's obviously lacking a little bit of experience in terms of like career-wise, but I do think Kelleher's more than proved himself this season. In 2024, so I feel like the beast, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And obviously Everton having a big result as well to capitalise that. They had the confidence. That game's been postponed. We'll have to wait and see where that goes for a potential slot there. So we'll just have to wait and see. But news on the boxing front. Darren Till, he's no longer fighting Tommy Fury at Misfits, Taylor. What's your overall reaction to that? Do you believe that head kick would have happened if the fight had taken place?
Well, to be honest, you know, Darren Till's come out after and said that he was just doing it to try and sell the fight. But I definitely see if he was just getting beaten round after round, I could definitely see him just going and kicking him. To be honest with you, I definitely think he would. He just wants that fight back on. I think I saw Billy Joe Saunders has offered him for a fight as well. So whether he takes that or not, I can't really see it. I think he's all talk at the moment. But yeah, I think he would have done it.
Yeah, that is the question, Kian, as well. Like, was it a PR move, or was it him just trying to sort of sell the fight in a sense? But obviously, what's your take on that fight falling through, and what now next for Darren Till?
I think he probably was just saying it to sell seats, in my opinion. He might have done it if he was losing, but I think it could have been a conversation behind closed doors instead of just calling the fight off. It could have been, say, sign a contract that says if you do that, you don't get paid. Something like that, I think, would be the best way to solve it, but they haven't gone that way, which is a shame.
Yeah, which is a shame. And now, Lewis,
does anybody know if it was a proper professional fight or was it like an exhibition? Because were you saying about if he does head kick him, surely he'll just lose his boxing license and he'll never be able to box again. So, as Kian was saying, I feel like something like that could have been discussed behind closed doors, because there's a lot of you got commissions involved and everything else. So I just don't see why the fight would be called off based on words at a press conference. But
I think
yeah,
it's
a strange one.
I think Till came out and actually said that if you put something in the contract saying that I lose my whole purse, then I'll just still do it. He says he doesn't care.
Oh, you do it anyway?
Yeah, I think that's what he said.
Oh, well. maybe they are the words that have been spoken behind closed doors, and that's probably why it's been called off.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, no, Darren Till is quite an erratic sort of figure, shall we say, in what he says. So we'd have to, I suppose we'd never know. But one thing for sure is that at this moment in time, he's not fighting on Misfits. And that's obviously a topic to talk about more in detail when we know a little bit more. But let's go to some of the local sport in and around Merseyside. And we'll start with you, Lucy, because I believe you met Paralympian Abdi Jamar, who recently got silver in the Paris Games. Would you like to elaborate?
Yeah, it was really great to talk to him. He has just become the first professional wheelchair basketballer in the UK. So to play for Team GB and play in the UK is pretty much impossible because they don't pay that well. It's not as professionally ran in the UK as opposed to Spain and other countries. And he spoke on being an ambassador for RGK wheelchairs as well, and how much that's helped him and how much they help players who need sponsors and stuff like that. And then near the end, he actually spoke on how important it is to sort of plan his training around fasting for Ramadan. So next year, obviously around March time, probably, Ramadan will happen. He'll have to start observing that in terms of fasting, reading the Quran. So he said Team GB have been great with planning his training around that as well.
And yeah, that's great. That's great stuff. And do you know if he's planning to attend the games in 2028? Is that in his mindset? Yeah,
definitely. He said he's looking forward to that and he wants to get gold next time, obviously, because that'll be the first gold for Team GB in wheelchair basketball.
Yeah, that's good. That's great stuff. And that's great that you managed to catch up with Abdi Jamar. Now, Taylor, I believe you caught up with Ryan McLaughlin. Could you tell us a little bit more about that former Liverpool player?
Yeah, it was nice to have a little catch up and get an interview for the website. I think it's a really good coup for the website, and ex-Liverpool. I mean, he was in and amongst the team when some of the world's best ever players were there. I mean, Suarez, Gerrard. So to get that sort of knowledge onto our website, I think it's a really good coup, and it was a really good experience for myself.
Yeah, exactly. And did he kind of shed light into kind of his mental health overall, like since obviously being a big part of being a part of the Liverpool side under Brendan Rodgers?
Yeah, I did actually touch on that with him. I said, do you look back with happiness, sadness that you didn't maybe achieve more? So yeah, I did touch on that in it, and it's a really good read. So if the viewers go over to the website and read it, it'd be much appreciated.
Yeah, that's a compelling interview, which I'm sure will get a lot of attraction there. So obviously on Mersey Coverage, you can find our stories in there. Obviously Ryan McLaughlin by Taylor Jackson, and then Paralympian Abdi Jamar makes homecoming after signing for Manchester Revolution there with Lucy. Lewis, I know you attended Movember. I know that was quite recent.
Yeah.
Was it a 24-hour cycling challenge?
Yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, the men's football, the uni men's football team come together to raise awareness for men's mental health, really. So they done a 24-hour cycling challenge. So they done it in pairs each hour. On the bikes in the student life, and the aim was to just help spread the message that it's okay to talk. And they all come together, really. They cycled 1,229 kilometers, which works out roughly as the distance between Liverpool and Rome. So they all smashed it, really. To be fair, I think 30 lads participated in Movember, and they're raising money for charities like prostate cancer and stuff like that. So I went over and met Oliver and Lucas, who I went over on the 9 o'clock slot. So it was really in the thick of it. They were about what would it be, 10 hours into it at that point. So yeah, it was really good. They live streamed it on Instagram the full 24 hours. So yeah, I just went over, just showed me support, got a little interview with them, and just spoke about what life was like as a student and how important it is for young lads to talk to each other and just raise awareness. Do you know what I mean? So it was really good to catch up with them and just speak to them on a personal level and just to show like the way sports can be a cause to raise awareness for things like that. So yeah, it was really good. It's available on the website. So if anyone wants to have a look and just see what it was about, it was really good. They raised £1,325 over the whole of November, and obviously that wasn't just the men's football team. That was the John Moores University as a whole. So yeah, it was really good to speak to them too and just see what they were up to.
Oh, that's great stuff. And did they meet? Obviously, you mentioned they're 1,325. Yeah. Did they meet their fundraising targets?
Yeah, they actually raised more than last year. So last year they raised £1,220. So they definitely smashed the targets and got the message out there.
Yeah, that's great stuff. And obviously sport, proving it once again to be an example to, bring people together. So for a good cause as well. So obviously you can catch that story on Mersey Coverage. And Luke, what was your take, obviously, on the table tennis? Whilst the football wasn't on, you managed to get down there this weekend, didn't you?
Yeah, 100%. So I went down to watch John Moores versus Manchester Met, the table tennis. It was quite an interesting match, to be fair. Last time out, they lost 9-8 in the reverse fixture. And they were supposed to be playing Kiel last week that got postponed, similarly to the Derby, I'm afraid. But yeah, it was a good watch. A player called Fares Gouda. He was in first year for John Moores. He made his debut. He won one of his 4 matches, but the captain was very, very happy with him by the end of it. I got to have a bit of a catch up with Michael, the captain, at the end. He's only in second year himself, and so they're all pretty young and pleased about the future of the team, really. The results haven't really been going their way this season. I think they've won 2 of the last 4 or 5 matches. But with them all being in first and second year, they're quite excited for sort of what's to come.
Oh, great stuff. And yeah, that's good that you managed to get down there, regardless of the weather, and get down there and get a story for the website. And Kian, obviously looking ahead now to the new week ahead, what sport can you sort of give us an insight for? I think you're attending South Liverpool game on Wednesday. So yeah, what insight can you give ahead of them games?
Yeah, I'm attending the FA Vale Cup Trophy, Base Cup Trophy, sorry. And yeah, the game was meant to be on Saturday, but it was postponed again due to Storm Dara. And yeah, it's been rescheduled for Wednesday, and they'll be taking on Albion Sports, and hopefully that'll be a good game, and it'll make up for it being postponed on Saturday.
So I spoke to Southport a little bit for the charity. I covered a charity story for Southport a bit like 2 weeks ago, I think it was, and it was about a marathon that the walking football players over the age of 60 to 80, I think, played walking football for about 24 hours to raise funds and raise money to kind of, obviously after the tragedy in the summer with the Taylor Swift, concert thing. In the city of Southport, which affected so many people. So it was very heartwarming to see such a good sort of social environment come together and play walking football over that time. And raise funds. There were Liverpool legends in presence. Which was good for the community. And I was grateful and fortunate enough that I got the opportunity to speak to Steve Thompson, who was owner and chairman of the Southport Walking Football Club, and he gave me a proper insight into how it's kind of affected the people of Southport and how it was important for them to kind of show that mental resilience sort of in the face of adversity. So it was great to see, and I managed to get that story posted on Mersey Coverage, which was a really good story and one I was grateful enough to be a part of. So yeah, that story was posted, I think, 2 weeks ago now. So obviously that story is there to view on the website. But there's also stuff to view on our social media pages as well. We've got Mersey Coverage Instagram, and we've got Mersey Coverage TikTok as well, where we put stuff on there. And then we've also got updates on Twitter, or X now, should I say, where obviously the links to all the stories that you can find on the website are on there, with more in-depth sort of analysis and more sort of live tweets as you go, really. So plenty of content, plenty of stuff on the website for you guys to check out in your own time. But yeah, it was great to speak to some people from Southport. Yeah, 100%. And obviously you can catch that story on Mersey Coverage. That brings a wrap to today's podcast. Thank you very much for watching, guys. As I said before, you can find all our stories on Mersey Coverage on there. So you can find Kian's, Taylor's, Luke's, Lewis's and Lucy's stories on there. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Hope you have a nice rest of your day, and I'll see you all at the next one. Ta-ra.